I have a question.
Yeah, I'm open for it.
I get that like this platform can only capture so much, but is there any way you can talk about just a tidbit, like just touching the surface, subconscious work? Some of the things that you're like, okay, I dove deep, I started looking within and really went on my own journey. Can we just touch the surface of that? Like,
Yeah.
what would that look like if someone's like, I feel lost. I don't know what direction to go to. I don't know if I'm going, coming. I don't know.
Yeah, I love that question so much. So if I would, what I would do is I would give you an example. And I want to show like how our subconscious mind plays out in our life, and then I'll talk about the work. So let's say that you and I decide that we're going to get on a roller coaster. You love roller coasters, so this is like an exhilarating experience for you. I hate roller coasters. I'm scared. I'm overwhelmed. So we ride this roller coaster, right? Because you convinced me to do it. You're exhilarated. You feel great. So you have all these amazing like hormones being created in your body and you're lit up and you're excited. Whereas I'm like so stressed out and overwhelmed. So where you and I have had the exact same experience, we've responded to it totally different because of the way our body feels with it. So for you, you're in touch with your body. You feel aligned with your body. You feel at home in your body. For me, I feel unsafe. I feel scared. I feel worried, right? And I'm creating the stress hormone essentially in my body. Now, even though we've had the same experience, we've responded to it different. And then that's going to determine our results. That's determined now I'm anxious, or maybe I feel nauseous, I feel overwhelmed. Whereas you're like, let's go again, let's do this. You feel exhilarated. Maybe you feel on top of the world. You're ready to do something amazing. That is how stress plays out in our body. But it's not actually the experience. It feels like it's the experience. It's the way that we've responded to the experience. So it's the way that we view the experience in our mind that's contributed to the way that we feel about the experience. Now, when you master your subconscious mind, you learn how to literally change your responses and therefore change your results. Okay. Our subconscious mind, this is something that I feel like it's a crime. As a former educator myself, I feel like it's a crime. It's not something that we're taught, but we only operate on about 1% of our mind, which is our conscious mind. This is like our effort and our force. Our subconscious mind is always working in the background. That's why I'm blinking. That's why I'm breathing without me stopping and saying, please blink, please breathe. I'm not having to do any of that, right? Because my subconscious mind is already working for me. And so the work that I teach, and I could go on, like you could throw me on stage tomorrow and have me talk about subconscious mind for 10 hours and I could talk about it. I love it so much. But the way our subconscious mind works is there's all these like prime directives of our subconscious mind, which shows how it's working in our favor, right? It's consistently working in our favor, but most of us don't know how to leverage it. So some of the tools and techniques that I teach are like neurolinguistic programming, which is all about the programs and the patterns of our mind. It's really cool. I've helped people overcome addictions, increase their productivity, um, reduce anxiety tremendously, overcome depression, all because of the way we've mastered our mind. Your mind is much like a holographic filing cabinet. And so the way that you have categorized something is the way that you experience it. So the roller coaster, if I had a bad experience on a roller coaster as a child, which I actually love roller coasters, but if I had a bad experience, I've now categorized it as a bad thing. And every time I think of it, it puts me back into that place. But literally shifting certain things in your body can help change your results. So NLP is one of the main techniques we use. We also use emotional freedom techniques, which is also known as tapping. If you guys ever check out my YouTube channel, I have an entire playlist, probably, I don't know, 50 plus videos on tapping. But tapping is an amazing resource because what it helps you to do is it helps you to move stale energy through your body. When you're carrying weight of like stress, or anxiety or overwhelm, it stores in your body and it's stagnant and it's stale and it becomes heavy. And so what you do when you tap through these different meridian points, they are actually, these meridian points, there's a lot of research with them. They're attached to different parts and organs inside of your body. So it releases energy and it helps you to take healing back into your own hands. So these are just two. We have actually 7 total different modalities we use. And then NLP alone probably has 30 different ones that fall under it. These are just like 2 of the different modalities that we use. And that's why the transformations that I help my clients with, that they in turn get to help their clients with, go deeper, happen faster, and last longer. Like it's just beautiful to be able to witness.
Can we talk a little bit more about tapping? I
Yeah.
only recently started tapping, and I have to admit, I've maybe tapped like 3 times. And each time I'm like, I don't know. Am I doing this right? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? What do I say when I'm doing it? Can we talk about tapping do's and don'ts?
Yeah. So first thing, do get out of your head. That's the first thing. And I get that so much where people are like, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Literally, what you're doing is you're getting in touch with your body, which a lot of us get fearful to sit with an emotion. So what I have my clients do is I have them sit with what is the feeling that's coming up for you? What is that frustration, that anger, that anxiety, or that emotion? So let's say, for example, you're getting ready to go live and you're feeling a lot of that like imposter syndrome come up, and that's like heavy for you. Sit with it. Get in touch with your body. Where are you noticing that in your body? What feeling is coming up for you around that imposter syndrome? And then what you do is you go through and you tap. Well, first, I'm sorry, you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, how bad is it? It's 10. And like, if it's lower, it's like a 1. Your goal is to get from, let's say, a 7 or an 8 down to like a 1. So you rate yourself and then you just go through and you tap and you literally just listen to your body. Your subconscious mind is going to tell you what's below the surface that you're probably overlooking by keeping yourself busy or scrolling social media or not sitting with it or whatever. And so you may say something like, oh my gosh, I feel so anxious. Like no one would ever join this live. I'm going to look so silly because I already know it's just going to be my mom on here and whatever, like whatever's coming up. And you're literally just saying it. And as you're saying it, you're tapping. And then after each round, and each round it includes 9 different tapping points.
Mm-hmm.
Go through the 9 different tapping points, you check in with yourself. Where am I rating? And if you're still kind of high, you go back in and you tap. What most people forget is the second part. After you get yourself low, you then tap in essentially affirmations or positive statements that you want to feel. It's been really interesting for me to witness when I do it with my clients. A lot of them have tried it on by themselves and they're like, it just doesn't work. But we go through a series of tapping and I just have them sit with that emotion. I have them get in touch with their body because a lot of us are out of touch with our body. And then when we're done, it's so interesting because they'll do things like burp, yawn, cough, and it's literally your body moving that energy. It's so interesting. It doesn't happen every time, but it's really interesting. And I can tell sometimes they'll cry, but it's like it's a literal release to be able to do it. And tapping is one of those things that you definitely want to stick with. It's not always a one and done. I've done it for so long that sometimes I can just like tap really quick and, sit in my car and I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better. Right. But it's definitely something that I say stay consistent with and trust that you can use it for literally any feeling or emotion.